Hey everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to Mr. Rogers' Afternoon Clay School. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a slab cube, a cube out of slab, a cube out of a slab, and we're going to make it a cube that has 6 sides and is sealed up. And we're going to have to put an air hole in it somewhere so it doesn't pop in the kiln. We're going to turn it into a functional box though. So I have my 5 sides cut out and 5 of the 6 sides, and I have 5 of them are nice and leather hard, and the other one is floppy. So this one I just made a few minutes ago, and this is gooey and soft. So I don't want to use that one today. I'll put that piece on tomorrow. But I'm going to put these 5 together today. So these were made yesterday or earlier this morning, and they are leather hard or leather hard-ish, and they can hold their shape a lot better. They're not floppy. This is the ideal time to put your box together. Not super leather hard, and not too much past floppy. So the first thing I have to do is get a tool for scoring, and then I'm gonna just gather all my tools here, and I need a pencil. There's my pencil. This is a very important tool. I use that a lot. I need a brush for slip. I need a wooden knife, or a bone folder will work. I like a knife. Better. And here's mine. Here's my wooden knife. I'm gonna need some slip. Here's my slip. And you're gonna need some soft clay for some reinforcing coils. So I have to set that up over there. All right. So step 1 is to take 2 pieces to get them ready to go together. And I score up where they're gonna go together. And I might as well take this opportunity to score up, score up all of the edges. If you don't score these, they will not stick together very well and fall apart while they dry, or while it's being fired. It might look like they're going together, but they're not. All right, now I can find 2 sides that are gonna go together kind of nicely. Those look pretty good. Now it's very important to work on not the table when you put these together, but a different surface in case your box gets stuck to the surface that you're building on, which happens sometimes because of this slip. So I'm working on it just on a piece of drywall, but you can work on a shirt, a piece of fabric. You can work on cardboard box, works great. Whatever you can find laying around, just so you don't get stuck to the table. All right, so I score and slip this together. Now because these slabs are not floppy, this vertical slab is going to it'll want to stay straight up in the air on its own. All right, that went together pretty easy. So here's slab number 3. Now, when I put this slab on, I got to work smart here. I don't want to put it over here because that's not very structurally sound, and I certainly don't want to put it up here. That's even worse. You want to build a corner, and that will create a lot of structural stability early on. So I'm going to score up all 4 of these edges. Move some stuff around here. There we go. Score up the bevel. Now this is going to meet on two sides. Be very liberal if you can with your slip. You want to see it ooze out so you know it's doing its job, and its job is to take the place of all the air pockets and air bubbles. If you get a little piece of air trapped in there, that could be tragic. All right, so I want to be pretty aggressive squeezing these together. And because the clay is not gooey soft, it's a little stiffer, I can be a little bit more aggressive in the pressure I put on the slabs, and they won't misshape too badly because they're approaching leather hard, or cheese hard as they say in England. All right, so there's a corner done. Let me adjust that so you can see it a little bit better. And it goes together pretty sloppy at first. Try to pick it up and move it so I'm not too stuck. And I'm seeing my slip ooze out. I'm going to reinforce this seam here just with the pad of my thumb. And if I have to sacrifice a little texture to reinforce the seam and gain structural integrity, I'll do it. I will always sacrifice texture for structural integrity, especially early on. All right, let me change that angle a little bit so you can take a peek in there. And now I have to reinforce these inside seams, and you also need to reinforce that outside seam, but I don't want to do that quite yet because it's quite unstable at this point. I don't want to lift it up because I could break it. So I'm going to smash those on a little bit better. Just make sure I'm set. Looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to take a small piece of clay and I'm going to make a coil. So I'm going to set this aside a second. And I'm going to roll a coil. And I want the coil to be pretty thin, thinner than a pencil. So there's a pencil for scale. And I'm going to take this coil and jam it into those seams and then smash it in with the eraser of my pencil. And this will really reinforce the seam and make the box very strong. All right, so take this coil and I set it in there. I set this in there. There's extra, cut that. And I'm going to see this seam right here. Set that. Cut the extra. And to smash these coils in, I use just the eraser of a pencil. And I'm using this number 2 Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga is not reimbursing me for using any of their tools, sadly. You hear that, Ticonderoga? Free advertising for you. Our clay body, if you want to know, is standard 181. It's good overall clay. You can throw with it pretty well. You can hand build with it pretty well. A little bit of grog in there. Grog's like giant particles of clay. It's more like sand. It's good for structural integrity. But not so much grog that it hurts you when you throw with it. All right, so what I want to see when I jam this eraser into the seam, I want to see that slip kind of ooze out behind it. And I want to fill up all the cavities and crevices that may be in that joint. And it looks pretty awful at first, but I'll blend it and smooth it in a minute. All right, that's jammed in pretty good there. So I take my wooden knife. You have to do this step after you've made a corner, or after you've put 4 pieces on. Once you've put 5 pieces on of the cube, it's very difficult to get your tools into the space to do this. So then I smooth and blend this and make it look pretty. Well, prettier. So let me pitch that a different way so I can work my magic on this side. And you can see, blending that away. Clean my tool off on a sponge to get the excess clay off. Now, this blending and smoothing has really bonded these 3 slabs together pretty well. So now I could probably pop it off of here without too much risk and turn it onto one of its other sides like that, and then attend to these other outside seams. And I'm not going to add a coil to these outside seams. I'm just going to blend and smooth with the pad of my finger. I don't want to see any cavities. I don't want to see any gaps. That looks pretty good. Now my work surface here got a little yucky, so I'm going to get rid of that for a second. Go right to the table again. I don't want to pick up any of the yuckies on my nice texture. So this is a pretty raw connection still. There's not, oh, sorry, keep doing that. There's not a lot I can do to it at this point. I need to let the slip heal. I need to let the slip and the plastic clay equalize to that soft leather hard of the actual slab before I can really work this piece. But I really need to reinforce these seams by blending and smoothing them. This is really important. And again, if I need to sacrifice a little texture for structural integrity, I will. I will make that trade. All right, that is a pretty solid corner. Let me readjust the camera. And next I'm gonna add the 4th side, the 5th side, and then the top in the next video. Thanks.